criteria, he's none of those. Roy or the patriarchal, he has none of those qualifications of a trustworthy person of which to lead this family business. And I keep saying every time we watch that show, Succession, oh wait, you're muted.
You don't think he has any of the qualifications? I think he has some of them. I think
he does. I was saying I'd be the sibling that has nothing to do with it. Just give me my money, give me my share of whatever, and I'm out. I don't want to take over this business.
Can you put your 4 criteria back on the screen? Because I want to see. Let's look at that.
Let me try.
Roy thing.
Wait. I think this is it. No, I wouldn't say he has any of this stuff.
Okay, character, no, he does not have good character.
He doesn't have character to me.
Right. Competency, I think he's competent. He's qualified, capable, and able. He built the company, right? So that's his billion-dollar empire. He did that, right? So I think you got to give credit where it's due, right? So you got a competent person, predictable actions and words congruent. No, he lies a lot. Supportive behavior, genuine care and respect. He doesn't have that. So you're right. He's missing, in my view, he's missing 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, the thing with competency for me is that maybe he was competent back in the day when he was first starting this company, but his children were coming to him saying, listen, you need to get into the streaming business. You need to get into online content. You need to, they were bringing him really interesting ideas, saying that, some of remember Kendall was like, you're like a dinosaur, Dad. You're like, this worked back when this company began. And he had really good children that really were like, I think the kids had character. Well, most of them did. They were competent in a lot of ways, predictable. They were more supportive than him. And this father is only out for himself. Like, as a leader, if you talk about the qualities of a leader, he only engaged a child in a conversation, knowing that they were looking for approval from their father. He only engaged people up to a level of which he can manipulate them. And if it got to the point where Chev was no longer useful.
Well, remember, Alicia, most people in the class didn't see the show. So you're talking about it as if we all saw it.
He would manipulate. I'm just giving an example. He would manipulate them. The daughter, he would only talk to the daughter so far as it benefited him in the long run. So he would engage in people. He would talk to people. He would have conversations with individuals, but he was never, ever thinking about the best interests of his children or anybody in the company. He was only looking at his own best interest and making sure he was on top. And I think that's what we're finding also in the literature. That's why this is a great case study about succession plan, because the whole thing is about succession. Maybe we can do another topic where we speak about succession, but we all know leaders have a very difficult time giving up control. And it is very useful to talk about the psychology behind succession and succession planning. And that's one of the reasons why succession kind of falls apart. A lot of these family-owned businesses, they don't last the next generation. Most of them don't last. By 2 or 3 generations, that business is gone or it's in the hands of someone else. And it's because of succession planning usually doesn't work very well. That's another place where I think like family businesses and all of that fall apart. How do you bring new people in who are growing up after something's been working for a while? How do you bring new people in, orienting them to the family business, the culture and all of that, and to sever off some responsibilities for new people who are coming into the family business? It's really, really difficult giving up that level of control for people who've been running businesses for a long time and running. It's like your business is your baby. You feel like it's part of you and you don't want to give that up, because in succession, it's a great case study. This guy, he's older and his health is failing. And, there is this idea about who to turn the business over to. And he ends up turning it over to an outsider. Oh my God, just very dysfunctional, very dysfunctional here. Boy, did you want to say something about that?
No, go and keep going. We're almost at an hour, so
Okay. So there's not much to cover now. I guess the family business meeting. Yeah, I do think for whatever stage that you're in, I think it's important to have meetings with your family about business. It could be stock options program, it could be stock options program, and then other stuff. I really think that it's important to have it and to have regular meetings where they can be conducted, where we can just talk about business. And this reinforces, I think, structure. It keeps people, oh my God, I got a family business meeting tomorrow. I got to make sure I get down to all of the things that I was responsible for. So it's very needed in order to thrive. Regular meetings, it keeps the communication going. And I really do think that there's value in emailing each other and texting each other and writing things down. But I really think that having face-to-face meetings in some format, I don't think that can be compared. It can't be replaced by none, because it's a place where you can get your questions asked, share your concerns in a way that's, that's constructive concerns. And you have to remember you're looking for progress. I mean, it's important in family business meetings to focus on, we're progressing in this way. We're not perfect, but you need some sort of progress in order to thrive. And so I think that's important to keep it progressing. Let's see what else. So here's some rules. Listen, we have to have rules. You have to have guidelines of expectation. Family meetings, you have to schedule a time where you can, where you can meet and talk about things. You also want to be flexible in that. Of course, we're not looking for perfection, right? But it's important to establish group expectations, ways in which you can have rules. Now, I don't know, it depends on how large your family meeting. I don't know who all is in there, if it's your step cousins and all these people who are in here. But I don't know if you need to follow Robert's Rules of Order, but definitely there has to be some sort of guidelines on how you structure these meetings to make sure that business is conducted. Remember, the small chat is one thing and you can have that, but in the family business meetings, business needs to be conducted. And the best way to do it is Robert's Rules of Order. I don't know anything else better than that, but if it's a small group, you may not need to strictly follow it. But if it starts to get bigger and larger, you need to have a way for people to present new ideas in a proposal form. I propose that we do this X, Y, and Z. I've done this level of research. I think we should pool our money and buy this multi-family unit or whatever. I found a good one. So maybe we can take some of them, our profits from our prime profits, and invest it into this multi-family place, because I found something that I think is very lucrative, and it could be something that we don't want to let go of. So there has to be some formal structure of which to have these family business meetings. Of course, respect for each other. All of these things are so important to have. Boyce, did you want to add anything about establishing group norms and behaviors?
No, I'm kind of okay with what you're laying out here. I mean, I think that it works. I kind of feel like I talk to everybody more than you do. So I really want you talking more than me. I can fill in the blanks, in terms of what I think. But I think overall, the reason that I think that this Black financial therapy approach is so important is because if you can, find some way to operate, smoothly with one another, you'll find that just your opportunities will grow, tenfold. Because little things like trust, like I'll give you an example in real life of me working with family. There's a kid who's like the son of a friend of mine, so he's kind of like a relative. But he was having some trouble. He was 17, 18, kind of running the streets, messing up a little bit. And he reached out to me because he'd been put out of the house and he was looking for a job or whatever. And I said, look, you can work with me. But I said, let me just tell you, my trust is fragile. You break my trust, we can't work together. I can't be there for you. But if you come through for me the way I need you to, then I will take care of you. A lot of your financial problems will go away. So I tested him. I would give him little jobs to do, and he would do the job each day. And then we just kind of talk and stuff like that about things. And he over time, he built a solid track record. So I said, so after about a year, I said, you've been very consistent for the past year. I said, now I want you to understand, now you've got a good credit score with me. Now that means if you run into a financial problem, you need to borrow $500, you can call me up. I'll loan you $500 because I can trust you. I said, now I need you to understand still, if you ever borrow from me and you do not pay me back, I will never loan money to you ever again. And so as a result, when he runs into, tight situations, he's able to call me up. I say, what do you need? Okay, I need $300. I'm like, okay, fine. And he meets the agreement, and it becomes a reciprocal relationship that really works out. He does stuff for me, I hook him up, I compliment him, he compliments me, and it gives him an advantage that I know I didn't have this. I wish when I was 20, 21, I had somebody I could call and borrow $500 from, when money got tight. I just didn't have that. So ultimately, that's an example where trust, the operative word is trust. When there's trust, you build an open economy. All an economy really is, one big aspect of it is, it's people complementing each other. Like, okay, I can help you get what you need. You help me get what I need. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the essence of trade is two countries trade. One has too many bananas, but they need apples. The other one has too many apples, they need bananas. So they say, okay, I'll bring my bananas if you bring your apples. But if I think your apples are going to poison me, or if I think I'm going to give you my bananas and you're not going to give me my apples back or whatever, then I'm not going to trade with you. And when trade shuts down, wealth goes down. So in economics, the more you have trust between two entities, two people, two families, two countries, the more you have economic prosperity. Okay, so that example with me and him is as a tiny man-to-man example. But that literally could be expanded to two countries dealing with each other. If two countries are transferring goods and services and wealth back and forth, and one country screws the other country over, they're not going to do business anymore, and both of them end up worse off. If you're in a relationship with somebody, and let's say you're not even trading money, you're just trading love and affection and whatever, when trust breaks down and they hurt your feelings or they screw you over, then you might walk away. And next thing you know, you're single, he's single, and both of y'all are worse off, right? So ultimately, trust matters in all relationships, whether it's economics or whatever. Remember, money is a type of value. It's not the only kind of value. There's so many things out here that you trade that's so much more valuable than money. But remember, trust is a very important part of that. So your goal in the family business meetings, in my view, is to say, okay, how do we really generate as much trust as possible? Because that means that none of us will want for anything. If there's 10 of us and one of us needs something, one of us is going to have it. Somebody's going to have it. It's better, as opposed to be trying to do it all by myself. So that's it. That's all I got to say. Back to you, Beck.
No, yeah, I like it. It's that interdependency that's so important in these meetings. And again, like I talked about, it's something that builds over time. Like you create a name for yourself. It's just like, it says a lot for Boyce because, Boyce was able to go to many of his family members and say, hey, let's do this. Let's put our money together and let's do a win-win situation. It's going to benefit everybody. And it was so nice to see so many people sign on to Boyce's decisions. And I think it's really remarkable. And it signaled to me that people trust you, Boyce, and your family. It was just really nice.
Well, it was nice. It was nice. It was nice. And it was also frustrating at the same time because, I saw how much money we could make. I said, oh my gosh, like this, I could really help some people. And I got to raise, if I could get more capital faster, I could get more done. Mm-hmm. And so I had one relative that I knew had sitting on millions of dollars, and just because she was so scared, she just completely shut it down. But then there were others who said, well, I don't care what you're doing. I just trust you. And I said, great, you're trusting the right person. And so in return, I made sure I kept all my obligations. And literally, I know one of them made a lot of money already. The other one's is making thousands of dollars a month to where she doesn't have to go to work anymore. And it's and that's what I want you all to have. I want you to be in a situation where when you see an opportunity, you're able to go to the family bank and the family will back you or the people that are in your economic family will back you and give you the resources to pursue that opportunity. And so, there's money out there. But most of the time, the opportunity does not always meet with the resources. You have like the word poor. I always say that how the word poor stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. So a lot of times we get stuck being poor because either we can't identify opportunities, we walk right past them, or an opportunity arrives and we have to pass it over because we don't have the capital. And that's a big issue in general.
No, I like what you're saying, because in just for family members who could invest, but they turn it down, I think it's important not to have hard feelings about that, because you don't know what's going on in people's personal lives. They don't want to invest in prime, we'll just say prime, just for lack of a better, stock options, or they're not at a place, although they have the means for a multifamily, unit or whatever. It doesn't, like, you shouldn't take it out on them.